I'd like to call to order the Parks Board meeting for June 24th, 2024. Mr. Bennett, will you open us with a prayer, sir?
Absolutely. Everybody bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day and thank you for the life that you've given us. We ask that you give us wisdom here on this side of the desk and help us choose and protect this city as best as we can and do your bidding. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Pledge of allegiance. Ms. Rather, will you do us the honors, ma'am?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball.
Thank you, my friend.
Play ball indeed tonight.
Yes.
Let's go.
Looking through here.
Check it off, kid.
All right, we're going to have some amendments to the agenda for tonight. I need a motion to make changes. That would be Mr. Pike first, Ms. Rathard second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The items for change is going to be under number 5H. We have been asked to eliminate from the agenda, and we've been asked to add, I guess under Sumner Stock, Mr. Garrett. I'll accept a motion to approve. Mr. Head first, Mr. Perry second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Motion to approve minutes for last week. Okay, Mr. Pike was first, Mr. Mendoza was second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And it passes unanimous. Okay, any public comments, sir?
No, he said no.
No comments.
Yeah, well, I want to hear him say it to
He's
me.
gonna make
You,
copies.
it'd be hard for you to hear him say
We're going to have
it.
to wait till he gets back. I'm going to trust you then, I guess. All right. Okay, items for approval, private outdoor activity policy, Mr. Long.
Thank you. So yeah, we're presenting a new policy for private outdoor groups that want to run programs in the park that are kind of outside of our special events and athletic leagues and camps. We have policies set for those types of programs, but we currently don't really have anything for things that say fitness classes, nature programs, camps, arts in the park, anything kind of like that go in line with that type of activity. So we did some research, talked with some local departments in Middle Tennessee to kind of see what they did, and we developed this new policy kind of fits what other parks departments are doing for non-athletic or special events programming. We're getting contacted by a lot of different groups. So I think we have another one on the agenda tonight, Yoga in the Park, that are wanting to do things in our parks. And so we were just trying to like fit their stuff in and squeeze it in with our athletics and events, and it just really wasn't making sense. So we've now developed this policy specifically for that. The first page there is kind of a breakdown overview of the highlights of the whole document. Another thing that we're looking to do and include is background checks for these types of instructors and all their staff. That's something that we have never done. We've done background checks on all of our coaches, officials, but anyone that's come and run fitness programs or anything like that in the parks, we've never done background checks on. I think that is something that we need to start doing and include that fits the rest of our policy and how we operate. So I'll entertain any questions if you have anything related to it. That's just kind of an overview of what we're looking to do.
Okay.
I just have
Ms.
one
Rather?
question. Is there anything in this new policy that differs greatly from what we already have in place for the other activities?
I don't
I mean,
believe
other
so.
than it conforms to the
No.
request?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I was going to ask that myself. If you want a second to look that over, I'll give you a second, and then I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So is this a motion to approve to send to BOMA for final approval? Or
That is a very good question. I think your motion tonight can be a motion to approve, and then I'm going to find out how the mayor and the COO think it should be routed from here. This may be it, or it may go to BOMA. So Haven't gotten a firm answer on that quite yet.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Head approved, second Mr. Bennett. Any more questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Unanimous? Okay. Yoga in the park.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to
I'm sorry.
I want to thank Dallas for his work on that. He did a lot of work and a lot of research, and he did a very good job. And I don't want to forget that because I'm afraid I will.
Good job, Dallas.
That a boy, Dallas. All right, yoga in the park, Shannon Capillo. God, I wonder how close I got to
I know,
that.
it might have been.
I don't believe she is with us tonight.
Can we delay to,
We'll just contact her and see if she wants to come back another month.
all right.
Okay. Christmas for the Children softball tournament, Bubba Baker. Anybody that's named Bubba, I like.
I don't think Mr. Baker is with us tonight.
So,
Boy, did you call all these people and tell them?
they're all home watching the game.
Oh, boy. All right, Pirate 5K, Pirate 5K, you're interrupting him, okay. You have the right to do that. Pirate 5K 10K race, Monica Aguilar.
Thank you.
Monica is absent also?
You could take that back to him. I don't believe Monica is with us tonight.
All right.
You did this, didn't you?
0 for 3?
Ms. Rather took care of this, I think. Disc Golf League proposal,
This man's here. Maybe.
Neil Landreth.
Let's go. Nate.
All right.
Nate is here.
Made it.
Hey, boy, Nate.
And my mom used to call me Bubba. She still does. I don't know if that helps. I hope it helps. Yeah.
Nate, we know, state your name if you don't.
Nate Landreth. It's been a while since I've been here. Nice to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing good.
Nate is made a proposal to host a Monday night, correct me if I'm wrong, Monday night disc golf league at Sanders Ferry Park. I'll let him explain how the league operates or works. But in a case like this, you know, Nate's not the Civitan Club, he's not Hendersonville Soccer Club, he's not Tennessee United. He's a citizen who likes to help take care of the disc golf course, and they're trying to operate a league that I believe and he can explain this, sometimes they take some monies from that league and help us do things at the disc golf course. And we really don't have a mechanism for that other as far as like insurance and things like that, but he did fill out the program proposal, and we do have a waiver that our insurance company provides us where the participants can sign a waiver. So I'll let y'all take it from here. I correct anything I misspoke on there.
Nothing much. League is loose on that term. It's not much different than just inviting people to come play together, essentially. But because it's, you know, advertised and stuff like that, it's kind of going to have to fall into a realm of control, understandably. To be transparent, this group has been meeting for probably 20 years, well before my time with them. I just happened to be the one that stepped in when the last person stepped out. But basically, we just get together and play every week with a little bit of money involved. The money goes back into the game, you know, same as if you were playing golf with your buddies and threw a 10 in, you know, payout. The only difference is that there's also a section for a course fund maintenance. Up until, you know, somewhat recently, the disc golf thing has been just a total kind of separate entity, I feel like, from, you know, sports and stuff like that. It was more of a hobby. Now it's becoming more of a sport. Becoming much more popular. The course is getting used a lot more than it ever has. And so because of that, maintenance has been needed because what is done at the park only does so much for the actual course itself. So, you know, aside from like where they mow, a lot of maintenance is involved in me taking care of the areas that they don't mow. So I'm out there every month with a weed eater, weed eating lots of areas that are different holes on the course that the mowers aren't getting to. My friends and I are getting together and pulling tree branches out of the woods that are also on the course and cleaning up, and we've done a lot of work to do some changes in there, which have accumulated with a lot of extra work, and of course the city has come and picked up a lot of tree rubble that we have created, which was much appreciated. So yeah, I trying to kind of follow the rules to get, you know, that league essentially just more legit, and so that everybody knows what's going on, and we're not just.
Question, Mr. Gilly, this league will be under the umbrella of the park system, and you're saying that a waiver will cover us from liability. Are there any more, since this is kind of first timey thing, is there anything else that in your opinion that we need to do on it?
It's not under the parks. We
Okay.
will not be over the league.
I got you. Okay.
These guys would run it.
But,
When they do make improvements or do things, they communicate with Trevor. But as far as day-to-day running of the league, we would not be over the league. The waiver is in place for things like this. I think people that use the park, use our facilities that we know about, kudos to them for actually, after 20 years, letting us know what's going on.
but they will schedule their time through you though, right?
Well, they've not asked for that. They
got
just
you.
show up on Monday nights.
Yeah, it's
If there's a major event going on a Monday night, they just don't play that Monday
yeah,
night.
yeah. I mean, there's not many of us. It's, you know, anywhere between 5 and maybe 15 or 20 of us at the most, and that's very rare that it even gets that high. So you wouldn't even know that there was anything going on if you were to like drive through the park and see us there. Like, it's literally just a group of guys. It's a different group of guys every week. It's not you know, I have a few regulars that are there most weeks, but for the most part, it's just whoever feels like showing up that day and fighting traffic is going to come through here, fight traffic, and come play. So he had sent me the waiver, and he also, there was, he was going to look into kind of an adjusted waiver or a different format, more of a list style waiver, because I have so many different faces coming in and out. I feel like it would be probably a little easier on both of us if we had more of a list style waiver where it could be like, read the waiver, sign your name, date it, and that way we're not dealing with obscene amounts of paperwork going back and forth between you know, us and you guys and everything like that.
That'll be that's
if
not
possible.
up to them. That's up to our insurance company.
Okay, right. Okay, gotcha.
My hope, if this passes, is that this allows us to make a case for some further improvements to disc golf, to show that there are people, actually regulars, that come down. It's one of those things we all know what's happening, but until you formalize something, sometimes it doesn't make its own case.
Okay.
Yeah, and kind of going off of that point, there's been a huge growth in the tournaments ran at Sanders Ferry, going from like 0 tournaments a year to, you know, many tournaments a year. A lot of Disking Disciples tournaments, which I know you guys have heard them. They've put on a ton of tournaments over the last couple of years, as well as a few other companies, Music City Disc Golf, Sad Dog Discs, have all been having more and more tournaments out there. So so I would like there to maybe be a conversation about having a little bit more of a mild budget for the disc golf course, for some of those extra things. Not to say that, you know, there hasn't been, you know, assistance done, but it would be helpful if there was a little more assistance done to keep the course up to par, for lack of better term.
So I noticed on the application, usually there's a list of who receives a donation from the person using the park. I'd like to make a motion that we approve this, but that we don't require donation for them since they already donate so much already to the course.
I have a motion. Do I get a second? Mr. Pike? Questions of this? Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do you have something to add, Ms. Dan? All opposed? And unanimous. You got it, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Freedom Festival Alcohol Sales, Chamber of Commerce.
you want me to start? There's somebody here to talk, somebody here to speak on this?
Nate,
Oh,
the,
okay.
actually, the application that is from Nate with Half Batch, and he's here to speak.
Is this live? Is this,
Yep.
can you, okay. Sorry, it's been a while. It's probably 8 years since I've been at this podium. Yeah, so my name is Nathan Newton, 105 Briarfield Way, Hendersonville, Tennessee. I founded Half Batch Brewing here in this town about 7 years ago. We've been selling beer at events for 7 years. Several events very similar in parks to this map for this event. We're responsible vendors. We don't sell to minors. We don't overserve. We don't sell to inebriated people. Yeah, so I'm happy to answer any specific questions you have. I know I was encouraged by some people to lobby some of you guys over the weekend, but it was the weekend. I was busy, and so I know you probably heard from some people that think there are dire consequences to us selling beer at Freedom Fest. I don't think, in my personal opinion, that us selling $8 pints of 4.5% beer is going to cause any appreciable uptick in incidents at an event like this. I know that probably you've heard people argue for a small enclosed area where the beer sales will happen. I think they tried that at this event a couple of years ago. Just about put a local business out of business because of it. It just doesn't work. People want to enjoy beer and the festival. They want to go get food at the food trucks. They want to see the live music. They want to check out the vendors. So, once again, just stating my personal opinion, I don't think a plan like that would work. I don't know what else
Okay.
to say. I think I'm good there, unless you guys have specific
I'm going to
questions.
suspend the rules slightly, and we're going to have discussion first before I accept a motion. Mr. Arthur?
I'm trying to gather what you were saying. Are you saying you don't like the beer garden? Is that, or?
Well, it's our experience that no one likes the beer garden. It doesn't matter how nice you make it. People just don't want to stand at a festival in a specified area and drink a beer. They want to have a beer and enjoy the festival at the same time.
Ms. Ted?
So the picture that's in the application of the festival area, am I to assume that there are going to be security at all these checking points? Is that what this is?
Right. The way they've proposed this map, this is a similar map to when we had the event in this location in 2019 when we first started doing these. The blue check marks would be hired security. A person would not be able to go through those exit points with any alcohol. Those are where people are coming in and out. There are other places where you see a white shield. Those are places that nobody comes in and out. The blue check marks are hired security. Where it says police setup, that is where the police command center is placed every year. The city ordinance calls for 2 licensed peace officers per 1,000 people. So if you anticipate that there's, at any given time, 4,000 to 5,000 people in this site map, you would have to have 6 to 8 officers within this area, which, if you've ever been to the Freedom Festival, we know there's probably 26 officers in this area. The hired security would be hired by the Chamber of Commerce at those entry and exit points. Our job as a staff is not to speak for or against different things, particularly when it's not our proposal. But this has been approved by this was approved by the beer board, I think 4-1. So your job is really to approve. Since it's in the park, it comes here, and you are to decide if you think alcohol is appropriate for the event, and if so, is the site map in compliance with the city ordinance, or however you feel about that. To your question about the beer garden, what Nate is describing, if you're looking at this map in 2022 or 21, typically the stage is at the bottom right corner, and there was a fenced-in area set up in the very, very right corner, over by the blue check mark towards the bottom on that side of the bridge. And the vendor that was there was, like Nate said, did not do very well. So that, I was just trying to give you information.
Okay.
Let me start off by saying you're in my ward, so love a good half batch, love a good brew. I've already had calls from people in my ward. I live in Terry Goodwin's ward, Ward 4, who are not in favor of this. They'd rather keep it as a family event, knowing that people probably, if they're going to want it, they've brought it in themselves anyway. But I also feel, and I agree that it's a family event, but I also feel that if we don't require one person to have a beer garden, then this is going to open the door for other people to come forth and say, well, you did it for here, and you did it for the city event for Freedom Fest. Why can't you make an exception for us? And so for this event, I'm very hesitant to approve. I just don't think I can. I feel like it's opening up a can of worms.
Okay.
And we've been pretty consistent with alcohol in the parks, that we want there to be that area secured off, particularly at events with kids. And particularly, I'm swayed by the communication provided that indicates that that's HPD's preference, if there is going to be alcohol here, that it be contained. And so I'm also swayed by that, and I love your brewery, but I do recognize this is an issue that people care about, and so I'm also, if we are going to approve it, that we approve it in a very secure space. If that means you no longer have interest in that, I understand, but that's my feeling.
Okay, at this point,
I don't mind telling you, I will drink a cold one every once in a while here. But like you said, we've had these things at several other places, but I'm very hesitant about having it inside the middle of Drakes Creek Park. That's just my personal opinion. Doesn't have to be anybody else's, but if that makes someone mad, I'm sorry, but I don't like the idea of it.
and that's why they're coming to us, because I think they value the opinion that we have overall. So, Mr. Bennett?
Yeah. So we've got the massive kid zone area there, and is the rhythm playing that night as well?
Yes.
So we got the rhythm playing. Thank you, sir. Rhythm is playing that night, so we're going to have those two things going at that time. I would love to see you sell your product at Freedom Festival. I think everybody has the right to choose if they want to get a beer, if they want to get a Coke, if they want to get a water, or whatever it is. But I am also in the favor of a beer garden setup. And I know there may not be enough time, may not be enough configuration for it to work, but I think that's what we have kind of held everything to. I think we had the Saunders Ferry Park, and we had a beer garden there. So really want to see that as well, too. Go ahead, you had a question?
Oh, okay. I would just like to say, we have events where beer's allowed throughout the event all the time in parks. Middle Tennessee Highland Games, Pig Fest. I can't remember the last time. I think this couple of years ago when we did the beer garden, this time when in this event was the last time we tried it, actually. And like I say, it just doesn't work. And I would also like to say, once again, I'm just expressing my personal opinions. I think these events like Pig Fest and Middle Tennessee Highland Games, especially Saturday at Pig Fest, these are events that are family-friendly events. I don't think that family-friendly and enjoying craft beer are mutually exclusive. So once again, that's just my opinion. But I don't think we've had a beer garden in an enclosed area in a park event in a long, long time. So.
Mr. Long, did you have something to add, sir? Okay.
Every event where our beer has been sold and that we've sold beer in parks in recent memory, definitely for the last 3 years, has been this type of event where the entire event is the enclosed area.
At this point, I would need a motion to move forward with discussion if anybody wants to make that motion.
Continue discussion, you're saying? Or make a motion to approve or disapprove this? Because I have a question.
Okay. Second?
Here's a question.
Oh, go ahead.
So was Pig Fest allowed to walk around
Thought he
with
made the
alcohol? Or was it not?
The site map for Pig Fest that you all approved the last 3 years was to enclose from where the skate park is, all the way in that whole area, around the back of the ball fields and the big parking lot. This map is derived from 2019, from the first event that had alcohol in the park, that was in this parking lot. The smallest beer garden we've had recently, I think that you all approved, was an event at the hockey rinks, an adult tournament, where we had to fence in the entire perimeter of the hockey rinks.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir,
A
Mr. McCarty.
comment. I'm of the opinion, I don't have anything against anybody selling their product, but I'm with you in that, is this gonna open the door to other stuff down the line where we have no recourse and we have not the ability to say no because we've already set the precedence if we approve this?
Is clarification on the HPD concerns, by the letter of their email, they're concerned about the sale, or are they concerned about the sale and then people just walking around with it? I mean, I don't want to, if that's a hair that's not worth splitting, but it sounds like there's concern about.
I can't speak for them. I wish they were here to speak to that. That's why they sent the email that you got forwarded.
Okay.
We had a meeting with the police, the mayor, and Nate, and the decision was made to have Nate move forward with this proposal with the Chamber of Commerce, and then the next day we got that email that was sent out.
Okay. I'll give you a couple of minutes to think about it. And if I don't hear a motion on this, it will fail because of lack of a motion. If I'm hearing this correctly, it may be one of the passages, and you might back me up on this, as a beer garden. If you might work with the staff, in some way you can get that, maybe we can handle it. But I'm sorry, on this one, we can't approve it, sir.
I'll go ahead and I will make the motion of having a beer garden for you to sell your product here at this event. So I will make that motion.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I would second that.
Mr. Head, second.
I have a question. By definition, this is a beer garden.
I
So
need,
is that
I'm
what
looking
we're saying to approve this site map, or you want a smaller beer garden? That's what has been confusing to me because, and I'm not speaking for or against, understand that. But the way a beer garden legally is set up is in front of you. But if you want a smaller beer garden, and where do you want it, I think that would be helpful. Or if you want to let the staff work with something that the police are comfortable with and the vendors comfortable with, or just before you, I just want before you vote to get some direction on, because that was
Bring it back with a proposal for the beer garden?
Well,
the event is in a week and a half.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Yeah.
forgot.
We don't have time. Yeah.
My understanding is that we would have an area that would be relegated for beer sales, just in a roped-off area. I know that we're looking at this whole map like it is, showing that, but that's a very big area, and most of our big beer gardens are in a defined area. So I don't know where the best setup would be for this. I just want to give the man an option to sell his product at the park in an area that is going to be accepted by the parks, HPD, and that's going to be acceptable by this board. And where that would be, I don't know where all the food places are set up. I would like for it to be close to that, so people can get food and a beer. But as for a designated area, I mean, just not by the kid zone and not by the rhythm game.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, by rule, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Andy's got a question.
Can I speak?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask my question first? Would defining the beer garden area as the entire parking lot be what you're looking for? That's you see what I'm saying? We need, if you're gonna ask him or me or anybody, he may not even want any of that.
Sure.
So.
You may not.
I would like to say as the applicant, I'd like to either vote for approval or disapproval as is.
There you
We're
go.
not,
Okay.
we're not interested in a
Okay.
smaller enclosed area.
Okay.
That doesn't work.
I understand. Thank you.
So I still have the motion, but do I have a second?
No, because there wasn't a motion.
Yeah, there was a motion, but
I made a motion.
there was no second, so that will fail because of lack of a second. Ms. Ted, you need to say something? Okay, gotcha. All right, sir. Maybe, like he said, maybe there's a point in this we haven't figured out or something. You might get back with the staff and see what you can come up with. And we thank you for coming, sir. Yeah. Hendersonville Chamber of Commerce. Who's going to speak to that, Mr. Gilly?
That would be the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, there,
How
sir.
are y'all doing?
State your name, sir.
Zach Williams,
Got you, brother.
with I'm the membership director with the Hendersonville Chamber of Commerce. So what we're proposing up on the screen, actually what brought the physical to, is our Visit Hendersonville app. So it's not really the Chamber of Commerce app. It's just we brought it in as a tourism vehicle here for the city of Hendersonville where there wasn't one, essentially. What this is we originally took our membership directory and just made it into a tour company, essentially, that gives an opportunity for businesses to be found in ways that is much more modern than like a Hendersonville City Guide or another paperback issue that might be out there. So what it shows is profiles for businesses. It shows landing pages for them to put up their logos, their information, ways to get connected, ways to get mapped for somebody that's visiting from wherever to Hendersonville to be able to find certain things. It also has not just for the business purposes, but for anyone who's new to the area and maybe you're a bike aficionado. We worked with Cycle Gear to create bike paths and actual mountain biking routes throughout the city. So there's different tours that are maybe all the boat launches that show all the boat launches in Hendersonville. And we're proposing to get this sign put up inside the parks, inside the greenways, and then also all the shelters inside of throughout the parks in Hendersonville as well, with a QR code that comes into just a download opportunity for anybody that might be visiting. The parks obviously was the first stop for us for wanting to promote this on a physical location because of how many tournaments and different people that come into our parks all through the years that may show up here and then they go to Wendy's and that's it because that's the only thing they may know about, or Culver's. I think that might be the other candidate out there that people might know, but we have a lot of other businesses in this area besides just that, and this kind of helps utilize and showcase those businesses in a way that give them a fighting chance to get some of these tax dollars that come in from out of the city.
Okay. Question?
There you go.
Like it, who's gonna be over the maintenance of the signs? And as far as the expense, obviously after a while, there's gonna be wear and tear, or, I mean, who's gonna, what
It
we
would
doing
all
with
be
that?
through the chamber. So if we get graffitied or whatever that might happen, we're going to put the original sign up and we're going to put the replacement signs up as well. And this is a
Chamber's pretty
plastic
credible.
edition, but we're going to try to go for more of a metal, something more permanent in that way.
Nice job.
Thank you.
I mean, we know where to find them, so, you know. Yes. Oh, okay.
What do we need for this? I would like to make a motion that they are allowed to place it in the parks.
Have a first by Ms. Rather, second by Ms. Hellman.
I missed that part, Nancy.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Good job, Ms. Hellman. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bud. All right, the added Sumner stock, Mr. Garrett. summer stock.
Mr. Garrett came by and met with us last week, and he had an application that we had some things that we felt were questions, and he went back and made some additions to that application, corrections, and sent it to Wade, who's out of the country. So that's why we did not have that before tonight, so I apologize for that.
Okay. You have anything to say about that, sir, or you?
Yeah, apologize for that last minute thing, and I didn't know, I guess just didn't get an email so
No
we could
problem.
send it over, but appreciate the chance.
I'm an old man. You can trick me pretty easy. Go ahead, sir.
So what I want to do is I want to put together a music festival, and this has been something I've been wanting to do since I had the chance some years ago when the Sumner County schools were closed for a period of time in the beginning. I put together a fundraiser for them. So that gave me the want to do something like this for a living, and I currently do construction, and I'm looking for a career change. And I love this town. I've been here 23 years now, and always looking for something new to do. And last year I got lucky enough to go to this same park back there, the Veterans Park, and get to see a music festival. And I thought, wow, this is something that I think I would like to do. So given the chance, it would be, but what I'm hoping to do is bring in young talent from the colleges and like Gallatin and here and some schools, and have some musicians and give them the chance to have that stage and to be able to open for people and clear them a little bit younger at life to be able to be on a national stage and represent Nashville in the way that we do as musicians. I'm a musician myself, so. But putting something like this together is something I think would be wonderful for everybody. And as I mentioned, as I listened to everything going on prior, I am all about the segregating the 21 and over so that we can have beer at this function. I was told that you actually can have that with the kids because we're limited on what things we can do the end of the year because of the children. It's the last thing before school. And, so it's kind of one of those things. But certainly all about separating if we have to, but in a way with barriers that everybody can still see the stage and see what's going on. Because I was kind of hoping ultimately to have like the high school bands and maybe the college, get a couple of bands together. Then I have some other bands that I already lined up to do this function as well. So just hoping to pull it all together with y'all's help.
Okay. Questions?
Well, I'm sure it's got to go to the beer board to get this approved first. Or I just know there's steps.
You can approve the event application. If he goes forward with selling alcohol, he would have to take that with his vendor to the beer board, and then his site map would come back here, just like the Freedom Festival site map just did.
So that should be part of a motion then.
If you make a motion to approve, your motion should be a motion to approve the event. If alcohol sales are involved, must come back here for the site map. I mean, that's in the ordinance anyway, but.
Which according to you, alcohol will be served, is that correct?
Pardon me?
Say, according to this, alcohol will be served?
Only because I heard that it's the last of the events of the thing for the fall for the kids, and they said a lot of parents, I was asking around, said a lot of parents wouldn't come to it because they need to have their kids with them. So I just thought, well, and then I asked some more questions, and certainly they said if there's children there, you can, as long as it's 21 and over and they have a band. I don't know how that works, but if we had to have barriers from the high school bands getting up there and doing their thing, then and that way everybody can see what's going on and keep the 21 and up, but barricaded off near the food, of course. So whatever, I believe it could work if we set the stage up right. Set it.
Yes, sir.
So are you doing this as a part of a group or organization? You're
Well, no,
doing this personally?
Well, this is going to be something, to raise, to make, to career changing is what I'm trying to do. But ultimately, it's going to be leading to what I want to call the Sumner stock. And this particular one, I'm calling it the baby to the big one, which will pre-sell next year's 3-day event that I want to put on somewhere on a farm if I can find one. And then everybody go home at night so that we don't have the overnight problems that would be bred in an area like that.
Have you done an event like this before?
I've done the one for the Something for Sumner. I was put on a fundraiser, had McDonald's, Home Depot, all of them were sponsors. And the children back around 2012, they were off for a couple of weeks. I guess funds weren't appropriated. So I thought, since I was helping at that time to raise a couple of kids, I said, they are not staying home from school and I'm not staying home from work. So I just put this whole thing together, and within, I think it was about 2.5 weeks, and it was all approved, and had bouncy houses, had all the insurances in place. So this is just the next level with the
I got you.
alcohol and, yeah.
So you've done events like that, but in terms of like at least what you're anticipating or hoping for is, a festival with, thousands of, like 1,500 to 4,000 people.
Yeah, I'm hoping. And
in
I was going to
attendance.
do,
Have you ever done anything like that before?
well, this was the only other one.
Gotcha.
And obviously with alcohol sales, this would boost that. And that particular thing was for everybody, and especially kids with the bouncy houses, so.
So, have we had any kind of site work done as far as where a stage would be set up and anything, or this is just approved to have it over at Veterans Park?
When we met, he proposed to have the same setup as we had for Pig Fest, where the gate would be out by the skate park, and then everybody would come in and have that large area.
Any more questions? Do I hear a motion to approve?
One more
Ms.
question here.
Perry?
I see where you're saying it's definitely nonprofit. No kind of donation at all towards anything like Mary's or anything?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Generally, when we do something, there's a charity event, charity.
Yes, I was to understand on the application, I checked that for sure, absolutely. I mean, whatever percentages that may be, obviously it's about the turnout, so. But this could be something much bigger and keep on going inside events. Like I want to put all these inside events together with the same format.
That being said, Mr. Gilly, can he or we designate a charity that would go to?
I would certainly think so, yes, sir.
Okay.
That would probably need to be part of a motion if you
Yes,
make
sir.
one. Real quick, you've got about 2 months for this to happen. There's a lot that has to happen in 2 months for the talent, for the food, for everything. Can you pull this off in 2 months?
Well, with all the people that I know in this town, and I've done a lot, I do work for McDonald's and another number of businesses around here, so I believe that I can. I really do. I know a lot of people, and I brag to say that I've over tipped a lot of the bartenders here, so they all said, one day when you do something, I would love to come help you do this function. So that being said is all I can go on, to be honest.
Well, I would like to see a little more time in between. I like the idea of this event, but I think 2 months is just not going to get you where you need to be, plus getting stuff organized. I mean, it's a very short window of time, sir.
To that point, usually when we're talking about, again, an event of this size, we're initially hearing about, getting approval at this board 6 to 8 months out at a minimum. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm misremembering it, but we normally get a lot more detail about, what's going on, who's involved, bands, this is the groups we're going to have. So I absolutely want to support your goal here, but it feels very much unsettled at this point.
Well, I'm understanding too, I guess the digital thing out there by the highway is very useful in promoting that particular park, which they don't have that, I don't believe, at any other parks that people see by the thousands every day. So there is that to be looked at.
So where are you getting the funds to start with?
Well, I have numerous restaurants and things that I'm talking to, and they said you simply have to have this set in stone and come back and see us. We don't know what we can do. It all depends on what you're able to do and what you can come up with. So.
Okay, unless I hear a motion, I'll suggest that you take this back to the staff and tie some things down, because our reason to be up here is not to cause you not to do anything. It's to have you do things in the best way possible.
Sure.
And I think we'd all feel I think they'd all feel more comfortable if you just shared a little more time with the staff and tied it down a little bit.
Okay.
And we'll be more than happy to have you back next month, and I'll buy you a Coke.
All right.
That make sense?
Sure.
All right, thank you for
All
coming,
right.
sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. All right, quickly.
Yes, you did good.
Ms. Hamlin.
Anybody know the score? Oh, never mind. Okay.
20-0 last I looked.
Us?
Yes.
Oh, good. Let's quit now. Okay, under updates, recreation coordinator, does anybody have that down there?
Yes, I can be Miss Hamlin for a couple minutes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. The special needs kickball has ended. They're looking for a place to have a little season-ending party. More details to come on that if you'd like to attend. Kids Club, that's the summer program for the special needs. This happens over at Witten. They're in week 3. It runs from June the 10th through July 19th. Campers bring their own lunch and drinks, and field trips are taken. Summer program workers are doing a great job. That's a special person to work in that situation and do that, and that's a special situation, and they all do a great job. I went over there the first week and doing a fantastic job. Just may need to try to find a bus driver. Somebody can help. Somebody knows a bus driver, let us know. We'll take some more field trips. Get your CDL license. Come and talk to us if you have your CDL license and a bus. It'd be great.
Come on, Bubba.
Bubba. Jump in there, bud.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a couple of things which she's looking for, and just would help out a lot. They do go to Mary's Magical. You know, they walk over there usually one day a week and watch movies one day a week, so they keep them entertained. The Special Needs Fishing Rodeo was Friday, June the 7th. They had about 15 kids attend. That's usually the same night as, I think, the First Baptist event with the special needs, and so that sort of limits how many will be there. Up next will be the preschool track meet, and that is usually in October, and we sort of pick a date based around somewhat of the Titans when they're away, so we get more participation. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hamlin.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Fugate?
I'll be Ori tonight. We just finished up the adult kickball, adult softball, and adult pickleball leagues in the past month. And then adult basketball, we're in the tournament, and they'll finish up next Tuesday for the summer league for basketball. Summer baseball has been ongoing, and just want to give a big thank you to Moore's Orthodontics. They're our league sponsor, and they just had our free ice cream day this past weekend. So thank them for that. Fall baseball registration ended this past Friday, and we're currently accepting late registrations in the office throughout this week. Fall kickball and softball registrations started up this past month, and they'll be ongoing until July 19th. And then fall pickleball league will begin registration starting July 22nd, ending August 23rd, and hopefully we'll be able to play at our new pickleball courts this fall. So we'll see on that. And that's it for Mr. Ori.
Thank you, Mr. Long, a.k.a. Mr. Fugate. Special events, Mr. Evans.
He's out of the country. I will be Wade.
Yippee.
Our Touch a Truck event is scheduled for July. Got a lot of great things coming to that for the kiddos. If you see the event on Facebook, if you don't mind sharing that so that all the community can know the date of that in July. Obviously, we have the Freedom Festival coming up July 3rd. It's going to be another great event. We had a huge weekend this past weekend with the Game 7 World Series. I tried to eat lunch out Saturday. That was really hard. And then that was kind of the start of a 5-week stretch where we have 100 baseball teams, 100 baseball teams, 100 softball teams, 120 softball teams, 200 softball teams. So
Wow.
we have a huge stretch coming up for the maintenance guys. It's really hot. We've had some great people in the community, including our Parks Board chairman, pitch in and pick them up a lunch. I know I probably wasn't supposed to say that, but thank you for that. So we appreciate everybody taking care of the maintenance guys. They are working hard, and the park looked really, really good this past weekend. Obviously, you'll be seeing a lot more about our upcoming barbecue festival, Pig Fest, in October. We did get a major sponsor for that. Dude Wipes is on board as our presenting sponsor. So we will have a skid-free weekend, apparently. That's their slogan. I didn't make that up. That is Wade's report. He will be back from the Dominican Republic Wednesday.
Gotcha. Thank you, Mr. Evans. Parks Board Maintenance, Mr. Cole.
We don't have a lot of projects going on right now because of what Andy just talked about with what we've got coming up. But we do, with our soccer shutdown, we've got about 22,000 square feet of sod coming in. They're supposed to be starting the prep tomorrow, and they're going to lay it all on Wednesday. So that'll be big. And then we had about an acre's worth of sprigs put in out at Volunteer Park a couple weeks ago probably, and those are really taking off, so you'll notice a big difference in that field once we do reopen that. That's all followed up by all the aerating that we've done. I feel bad for the guys having to ride on the tractor out in the heat, but it's just part of it with them. And then we've got a few irrigation repairs going on, but other than that, we're just getting ready for these next few weeks.
Questions? Thank you, Mr. Cole. Assistant Director, Mr. Long.
Thank you. As Trevor mentioned about the field maintenance, the soccer complex, all the grass fields at soccer complex, the rugby complex, and volunteer remain closed for the summer for the turf maintenance of those. That leaves Memorial Park, football field in Drakes Creek Park, and our new turf soccer field has remained open for programming and scheduling. Tennessee United's teams continue to practice on a regular basis. We have several teams that have qualified for some regional and national tournaments, so we wish all of their teams luck this summer as they compete and travel to those events. Tennessee United's also offering their free community popsicle nights out at Memorial Park on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then Civitan continues to hold their free community conditioning program on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the tackle field. And then last tackle football will begin practice starting this coming month. And that's it until fall season begins in August. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Assistant Director, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, sir. The couple things ongoing, the Nashville Ignite is going to start doing a little practicing over at the hockey rinks. That's the box lacrosse. Still working with them on the exact date, but they have going to start that up soon. The spring fast pitch has finished up. And the Civitan baseball, the Open League still has another week of tournaments, or league tournaments, and then they'll be wrapping up the spring season. Civitan is also hosting the Cal Ripken 9U and 11U state tournaments over at Veterans this weekend. So Jimmy has the concession stand covered, I'm sure, and won't be a problem getting that and with everything else covered. Fields 1, 2, and 4, as you know, we shut those down after the flood. We got everything else we had back up and running pretty much the next week. They had to shut down because of it was just so much clay had washed off the infields that it was a hazard. So we got those done the last 2 to 3 weeks with Trevor and his guys. And we actually played on those this weekend in the Game 7 tournament. So everything's up and running with those 3 fields. Make it through the year, then we'll probably redo some of those in the fall. The senior men are ongoing. If you want to watch a hitting display, go Tuesday nights and to see Bubba hit, if you'd like to. Game 7, as we discussed, World Series just finished up. They had a really great 4 days, just one little day of rain. GMB this weekend, along with the Cal Ripken. GMB is bigger than they normally are, so it's going to be, this weekend will be also very large. And then as was discussed, the first 3 weeks of July is basically 9 in the morning till 9 at night, 3 weeks straight. Adult baseball is coming back. They're going to use Field 3 a couple of days in August. We worked out some dates with them. They couldn't use it because of the damage that was done for the tornado. And then the Rhythm is about a month in, doing okay. And they will be there on the July 3rd date for the fireworks if you come. They're starting at 4:30. Normally they start at 7 o'clock. For the fireworks day, they start at 4:30, so if you want to come down and watch. Thank you, sir.
Questions? Thank you, Ms. Bruce. Director, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank, once again, everybody for a great weekend this past weekend, particularly the Sumner County Tourism Office. They helped us lure the Game 7 people here. We're going to go meet with them this week. They have a new interim director. We're going to try to meet with them and make sure we can keep the same level of funding coming from them, hopefully, towards events in our city that we have had in the past. I think that'll be hopefully a continued good relationship. You will see some upcoming discussions on the UTV of the fire department in the parks. After, I think I discussed last time, after Station 7 was opened with the staffing level, they've not really been able to put the UTV in the park because of their overtime budget. July 1, when we start a new budget year, we will be able to get that back on a regular basis for the month of July, but then I think we're going to all seek some direction from, when I say we, I mean me, the mayor, Jesse, and Chief Bush. We'll probably seek some direction from you guys and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen on going forward. Is that something that we want to be in there all the time like it has been the last 4 years? Flood updates. We've made a lot of repairs. We had about $70,000 worth of funds left from tornado insurance that we were going to kind of do some nice upgrades. But we needed to use that money to go ahead and do some immediate repairs for the flooding until we could get to a new budget year where BOMA has appropriated the flood insurance money. So, I'll just give you an example. We had to order all new sand for the volleyball courts, which has not come in yet. But that was $21,000 to put sand on 3 volleyball courts. But it's neat. I mean, if you go over there, that place is busy all summer, and they need new sand in that area so that it can flood again and wash away. We're still waiting for a final decision from FEMA on tornado funding. We've met with them twice. I think there's 3 more steps to get to that point. You're talking about a significant amount of money that they can hopefully come through for us, and then we'll start those meetings again because the area was just declared a disaster area from the flood. So it should be a fun year or so working with FEMA. We are working with Public Works. They're kind of taking the lead on the new maintenance shop designs. Once we get those designs, we'll put the project out to bid, and hopefully it'll be a quick build to get our guys a new permanent home. Pickleball, you will start to see movement on that over at Veterans Park. We have the net post sleeves in the ground. Rogers Group's going to be out there tomorrow and this week beginning to mill it. You'll see asphalt go down. It may be a month or two. You have to wait 30 days after the asphalt before we can put the surface. So we're looking late summer, early fall for pickleball courts. It looks like we were able to do some configuration upgrades, and we may actually get 6 courts instead of 5. So that will be a nice thing over there. Trevor mentioned sod investment. We have invested another $25,000 in sod for the soccer complex at Drakes Creek Park and at Volunteer Park. I think that's important for the community to know. And then also we're working with the county. They actually did pass a resolution to allow us to have inmate labor back. I think our Board of Mayor and Aldermen will vote to agree to that on July the 9th. So after that, hopefully we can get some inmates and their labor back in the park to help us out. That would be a nice added bonus. And even though there's 5, I think there is 5 Mondays in July, but our meeting still will be on the 4th, July 22nd. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gilly. Questions? Round table, Ms. Ted.
Keith, I have you scheduled 8 to 8 on Saturday, okay? So
Veterans or Drakes Creek?
I'll put you at Vets this weekend.
Okay, I'd love to.
Just looking forward to a whole fun month of July.
Ms. Mendoza?
Hats off to the entire board. I mean, I'm amazed. Every month I come here, I'm just amazed at the things that we do. And, it's no small feat to come in and listen to somebody's idea and be an important part of that, whether it proceeds or whether it goes. So I just want to say I don't take this position lightly. I think it's a good thing. I think what we're all doing is a great thing. I think Sumner Parks and Rec, it's a great thing.
Mr. Pike? What? Wow. I'm going to speak on behalf of Mr. No, I'm not either. Mr. Perry? Mr. Golden? Yes, ma'am? No? Mr. Bennett?
I'll talk for all of them. Now, I just wanted to say congratulations to Station Camp High School baseball team for finishing second in the state. Coach Corey Heppard and his staff and his players, great job, great season.
Thank you. Ms. Rather?
I'm good.
Mr. Peterson?
Yeah, and Hendersonville High School soccer team as well had a great run. Exactly. Board, I appreciate y'all's input and thought process. Every time we discuss something on the agenda and we have guests speaking, I would like to recruit y'all for BOMA.
Whoa.
So sorry, Andy, but y'all do a great job. Trevor, your parks, your fields look incredible. Thank you so much. And I'm so late to the game. I finally saw the soccer turf field, and I'm so impressed with that. Andy's got, I know, 2 more grants in the hopper right now. Do you have any updates on those yet?
No, sir. Probably won't know till the winter. We need Governor Lee to be reelected, so he can be our friend one more time to get.
I'll make a phone call. Again, thank you all, everybody.
I'll be brief. I go down to the parks from time to time just to kind of get a climate about what's going on, and I get disappointed sometimes, because I think us as a society have missed the point of what we're doing, in a way. I see parents that belittle umpires that are not much older than my grandchild. I see parents that belittle kids because they did or did not do something right. I see people yelling at umpires, quite frankly, when they don't know the rules of the parks. I've seen people question the umpires, and I just want to shake my head. And I walk around and see people, and rightfully so, their attitude is, I want to win. I want to win. And somewhere in the back of somebody's mind, they're going, I don't care how I win. I just want to win. Well, in walking around, when I see things, I see the little 6 and 7 year old kid after a ball game with his hat sideways and his Gatorade in his hand, just as happy as he can be. And I know more than 2 people watch this. I'm pretty sure of that. But I just want us to recognize the fact that there's more than dollars and cents, and there's more than winning. And people like Mr. Head, people like Mr. Perry, Mr. Pike, Mr. Gold, people make an impression on kids that you don't know you do. You don't have any idea that you might be changing some kid's life just by the way that you treat them. So I've been thinking about that for a while. I just want us all to be cognizant of the fact they're just kids. They're just kids for the most part. And we need to treat them like kids instead of items. So that's my
Oh,
2
can I
cents
say
worth.
something real quick? Congratulations, Joseph Newgarden and Josh Berry. He finished top
Yeah.
3 the last few weeks.
Second, yeah.
He's running up here at Super Speedway Saturday and Fairgrounds Thursday night. Let's wish him well.
Motion to approve. Ms. Hellman's first.
Yes.
Mr. Pike was second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm gone.